Welcome back, you filthy exiles. This is... I haven't done one of these videos in a little while, actually, but I've finally sort of done everything in the league that I wanted to do, and now I'm just going to basically build currency up in Delve. And right now, really unsurprisingly, nobody's playing Delve, so there's huge demand for everything. And to put into context, if we just have a look at the prices of fossils right now, so if we look at just our standard fossils, we've got glyphic fossils, which are, an average of 115 chaos per fossil. Faceteds, which are about 70 chaos. Fractured, which aren't really too much at 28. So really, like, if you're targeting glyphic and facets, which are really easy to get to, and I'll explain how you find these in your delve sort of biomes as well. These are crazy good currency to make. Alternatively, maybe you don't want to farm fossils, you don't have a character that can do the nodes, but you do have a character that can survive standard play. Then resonators right now, from just straight up Azurite, are trading for like 2 for 1 socket resonators, and you can do a run for 20 minutes, get 100 of these bad boys, and just sell for 200 chaos a run. We're looking at 4.5 for 3 sockets and, about 30 chaos for primes, which are the 4 socket resonators. So, and these drop from troves. So I'll explain this sort of throughout the video, and if we want to go really crazy, we could look at All's Uprisings, which I'll put on the screen. Right now, Haste All's Uprisings, which drop from the Crystal King, selling for 43 Divine for some unforsaken reason. We've got the Determination roll, which is 23 Divine. And we've got the what was the last one? Purity of Elements roll, which is 15 Divine. And these are, almost, I'm not going to say guaranteed, but there's like a good 70 to 80% drop chance that they'll drop from a Crystal King if you can find one in Delve, which you only need to go down to apparently 130 depth these days if we go to boss biomes, and I'll explain this throughout the video. Minimum depth 130 for a Crystal King to pop up, and this is according to PoE DB, which is pretty reliable as well. So very achievable. I haven't went into precursor emblems. If you want to know more, put up in the description, and I'll maybe do another video on that. And I'll also link in the description how to kill the the Crystal King really easily. Obviously, this is one of my main pieces of content on my channel because I fucking love Delve. So anyway, let's get into the video, and I'll explain, if for those who haven't played Delve before, how basically Delve works, the biome system. Then we'll talk about how to set up the resonators. And then we'll talk about how to target the currency that you want to farm in order to get the most out of your delving experience. Okay, so let's talk about Delve biomes, and I'll put a link in the description to the PoE.db page. So basically, when you go to your subterranean chart, which is this thing in Delve, all of these swatches in here represent a biome. So the different colors represent a different biome. So you've got Frozen Hollow, you've got we got sulfur vents. You've got different levels here. You've got magma cavity, I think it is, magma fissure. You've got fungal caverns. Now, for every single one of these biomes, they actually have a different fossil that can drop, and I can already see one which will drop a faceted fossil straight away, which sells for 69, 70 chaos, so on, so on. You also have things called abyssal cities. Now, these are all derived from these sort of outcomes here. So what this is basically telling us is, for the different biomes, the different types of fossils that will drop in the biomes. So for example, in fungal caverns, which is this here, this sort of pinkish, sort of brownish color, this will actually drop these types of fossils. So corroded fossils sell well, perfect fossils sell for about 4 to 5 chaos a piece. Aberrants, not so much. Dense fossils, they don't really sell too much, but you can sell a large bulk for 1, and they usually drop in big stacks the further down you go, and so on, so on. Abyssal depths, bound fossils used to be really profitable, not anymore because minions aren't really very good builds anymore. And the things that you want to go towards are things like sanctified fossils. Where it says FW in here, it actually refers to fractured walls. And we'll talk about that at the very end, how to breach fractured walls really easily. Magma fissures tend to be really good areas to pick up rarer fossils. So what it's not saying on here is in magma fissure, you'll actually have areas where you can farm faceted fossils, and faceted fossils are the big selling fossils. But yeah, and this will have the S. Now, I don't know if these depths are still accurate. I would assume on PoE this is more up to date than most other places. So this will be adjusted for the changes to Delve a few leagues ago. But I'll let you guys go through here. Really, like, if you want to target a particular fossil, you can. The way that I play when it comes to biomes, so I just literally slam any biome that I see going through. I'm really looking for Crystal Kings, and we'll talk about that next, and also the different bosses that exist. Okay, so Primeval Ruins. That's pretty much my big target sort of boss, whatever, that I go towards. And in the biomes, we can see that they pop up. They look sort of like this, little Primeval Ruins. And I obviously did this one. But you'll see throughout here, there are 3 different types of boss encounters. So you've got Abyssal Cities, which are these here. You've got Primeval Ruins, which is where you'll have things like the notorious Crystal King drop. And this guy, he has like crazy modifiers on him. Mainly around defense, which make it really hard for me to kill. Well, not necessarily impossible, just really long for me to kill him. And then you've also got the Val outposts, which have Val ruined chambers, and as you can see, Abyssal Cities in here. You've got the Lich's Tomb, which has the Lich in it. I wouldn't recommend farming the Lich, almost worthless. The only thing worth anything on him is the rings that drop, so they build Precursor Emblem rings, and I'll put a link in the description about that at a later where to look for that, but anyway, we'll get into that shortly. So yeah, the only things I would be looking for the Lich from is literally that. If you farm Val Outposts, which I actually just went through a huge city as I was farming through just before, you can get the Omnitech in there. I think his name is Anatoly. And the benefit, there's 2 reasons why you would farm him. Number 1, he drops an Ultimatum Fragment, which right now sells for 70 Chaos, and that's quite common of a drop this league. In past leagues, not so much. Last league, when it was introduced. And also Doriana's Machinarium, which I think sells for like 1 or 2 Divines. So they're absolutely worth farming because you can make pretty good bank off that boss. He also drops one of the Protumbo rings or whatever that builds the Precursor Emblems. In fact, all the bosses in Delve drop components of those rings, and they can build pretty good rings, which anchor off of Endurance, Frenzy, or Power Charges. And that's pretty much the idea behind the bosses. Now, the one thing to remember is make sure you look at, you'll see in the corner of the screen, when I sort of cursor over things, just down here, it'll actually tell you the modifiers on the biomes as well. And pay attention to that, because realistically, if you take on a boss, so the problem with my Crystal King that I've got chilling out over here somewhere, is that he has 40% elemental resistance. That's problematic for all of my builds right now, because I'm not running physical damage builds, I'm running elemental builds. Now on top of that, the bosses down in Delve, while their mechanics aren't overtly complicated, they have some of the biggest health pools out of any of the bosses in the game, and they can hit particularly hard, which is why I wouldn't recommend taking down the Crystal King without a tanky character. You can do it, it's just incredibly painful. Because realistically, to stop his bullet death mode, you need to have a super tanky character that can face tank his hits. But that's one thing to bear in mind when taking down bosses. So it's not as straightforward as just go down, kill the boss, make a huge bang. You actually need a character that can run the flow of Delve and take the hits as well. And if you follow any of my builds on my channel, then I have plenty of builds I've put up in the past that can do this. Through from my Shield Crush Jug from last league. I'll have an RF Jug coming out in the next couple of days, which is more of a build overview. My version is probably a little tankier than others, but does less damage because of that. But anyway, that's what you need to basically excel in this. But anyway, we'll get into how to set your, or how to basically start and set up your Delve Voltaxic Generator. Okay, so when you first go in Delve, you'll go down and you'll basically go up from like level 1. It'll start you out really early on. Hey, there's a architect there. Always keep an eye out for primeval caverns. So you'll start, and generally as you level up, you don't have to start straight away. It'll just put you down on a mine shaft based on your level these days. And so it'll generally try and match your level. But what I would always suggest is the first few nodes that you do, you want to hit Azurite cavities. And the reason for doing this is you need Azurite in order to upgrade your generator. And the first thing that you're going to want to do is basically get at least 1 or 2 points into sulfite capacity, upgrade your darkness resistance, and you always want your darkness res sitting at 75%, and then upgrade your light radius. Pretty much these 3 things are the most important things you do in the first like maybe 20 levels of delving in depth. And then beyond that, you want to start adding in your flares, and then duration, and then radius. Usually I take it to 20%, 20 seconds at the most. Realistically, doesn't need to be very great. Radius is really important, and the same with light radius. You can have bad darkness resistance on a character, but if your light radius coming off the crawler is large enough, then you'll be okay. You'll still always be in light. If your light radius is shit and your darkness resistance is shit, you're going to have a bad time. And the same applies to flares. Now, what do you use flares for? I basically use them for when I crack walls, so fractured walls and things like that. I'll use flares to light up the area before the wall and after the wall, and I'll show you how I do that. Now, dynamite. What is dynamite for? Well, dynamite you need to blow through fractured walls. So you can't get through fractured walls without dynamite. And we'll talk about this when we do a run, and I'll show you how that works. Now, why would you need to upgrade damage? Well, dynamite not only works at basically taking walls out, but you can use it to severely damage bosses. So if you've got a character with less topside damage, then you can basically take down, bosses. Now, when do you upgrade this? Last thing you upgrade. Once you've got your Azurite, like your main 3 settings set up, then you focus on your flares and you max them out as far as you need them to be. 12 flares is pretty respectable. When you go further down, you make a lot more Azurite, so you can go and have like 20, 30 flares. It's extremely expensive, but at that point, if you can afford the Azurite, great. Then you basically focus on dynamite. And how many fractured walls will you get in a run? Not as many as you think, maybe like 2 or 3 in a long run. But yeah, this will be the last area that you invest in. Radius I've never cared too much for, but once you've done everything else, radius, just pump it into there. And then the rest we want to hold on to, because that's where I'm going to explain in the next part of the video what you're actually going to do to make currency out of this. Okay, so you've done all your setup work and you're starting to dig down and delve now. You've got your generator sort of at a basic level, and you're keen to make some easy currency. And now this strategy applies from the very start of the league all the way through, basically, because fortunately resonators are one of the best ways to craft in the game right now, and have been for a number of leagues, which provides them sort of being a very lucrative opportunity to make easy currency, to sort of throw into your builds and whatever. Anyway, where do you buy the resonators from? So they do drop in the delves. That's one way to get them, and you'll get that natively as you farm. But the easiest way is simply to trade with Nico. And we don't want to buy powerfuls because they're only worth 4.5 chaos on the market. And if we just revise the market rates, these are the rates that we're looking at. So about 2 for 1 socket resonators, 2.3 for 1 sockets, and 2 for 2 sockets. Now, the price of 2 sockets in Azurite is $750. So why would you do that? You would just buy single socket resonators for 300 Azurite per resonator. Okay, so how do we get that Azurite? Really, really simple. And by the way, the investment into this is so damn cheap. Like, you could, number 1, do master missions for Nico, or you could just literally buy 100 rusted scarabs for like nothing. Let's just have a look at scarabs. I've just got them chilling out here. So they're worth 1 chaos each. So literally you could go down, pick up 1 fossil, like a fractured or a faceted or something like that, and buy a shitload of scarabs. And I'm pretty sure there's 1C for polished as well. So sustaining delve, one of the cheapest ways to do that. And once you get up to about 30,000 sulfite, you can sustain it off 5 T15 maps or T16 maps. Usually I just do 5 strands. I level up whatever other shit in my maps and then go back into Delve. And we'll talk about the Atlas at the very end of how we get here too. So then I would go to my subterranean chart. I go, okay, where is a Azurite cavity? And as you can see, they're in great abundance. In every direction I go, I can go to an Azurite cavity. So, all right, cool. Let's maybe go to one that's linked to something. I'll show you guys that one next. And that's one that I'll talk about shortly as well. So let's go to any cavity, okay? So we'll go get some Azurite and I'll show you exactly what we do. So it takes like not very long to go down here. So we pretty much run our column, smash through. We're not going to go crazy here and do whatever. Pretty easy stuff. And this is at about Delve 340. So you can do this all the way through Delve from whatever level because these cavities exist all the way through. I'm getting a bit of chop there. So my character's pretty tanky, so I can literally just face tank everything at 340. Now, at the further down you go, the more Azurite you're going to get. So that means the more resonators you can buy. And if you ever ask the question, how do those guys that like run like 1000 Delve or whatever, how do they make their currency? Delve provides like nothing else. And it's consistent and it's reliable as well. So there we go. We pick up how much on the node? 800. We already had 100 there. So we literally just go to Nico, purchase, bam, we got 3 resonators and we've already made, what's that, 6 chaos straight away. And put that in the perspective of how many nodes you can do with just the amount of sulfite that you've got, whatever that might be, 30,000 sulfite. If you just targeted Azurite nodes the entire time, you would make absolute shitloads of bank. And that's pretty much how you make currency. And then I have a Delve tab. You don't need one. You chuck it in, price it to 2 chaos is generally what I do. The market will say 2.3 to 2.9. But what actually happens is you'll get some stupid flipper that will buy an absolute shitload of resonators off you and think he can chuck it on the market for 2.5 or 2.9 and sell it. And what will happen is it'll go nowhere. And so you just continually sell just under market cap at 2 instead of 2.5 or 2.9. Almost automatically, if you've got bulk up there and say like 20, 30, 40, 50, someone will come in, pay you 100 chaos for like 5 to 10 minutes of running, and then you just go back into Delve and keep doing it. Now, if you're looking for the best fossil nodes to farm, so you'll have nodes like Smuggler's Stash, you don't want those. The ones to look out for are like these molten cavities and the glyphics as well, the time loss caverns. Right now, if we have a look at the prices for fossils, so time loss will specifically always drop a glyphic. And right now, glyphics are 110 chaos. So you can probably sell them really quickly for 105. And so if we get a molten cavity, we get a faceted, that's 70 chaos. You can sell it for about 68 pretty quickly, or 65 if you really want to liquidate. And as you'll see, like all around, these just pop up everywhere. Abyssals aren't really worth anything. There's another time loss. There's at least like a divine on my screen right now. If I just move towards the nodes and target farm the nodes. I don't know what's on that Crystal King. We're going to kill him and find out maybe in a live stream. But that's literally how profitable playing Delve is. And that's all there is to it. So next section, I'll talk about fractured walls, and then we'll cover off on the Atlas, and that's basically it. Okay, so for fractured walls, and this is where you want to farm the more rarer sort of things. I'll show you the strategy. I can't guarantee one's going to pop up in between where I want to travel to, but we'll find a particularly long node. Yeah, this one here. So the first thing you want to do, you always want to have as many flares as possible. If you can't sustain the flares in there, you're pretty fucked. If you got short runs and you can darkness farm, go crazy. But this is basically my strategy. So I usually stick to the mining cart and just trail it off. Now, where I look for, I'm actually looking in the map up here, so I can take everything here. And there'll be a guide on this build. So see on the map where I know where the cart's going to go forwards, right? It's going to go straight. And so I'll just literally follow the edges and walk to the walls. Now, some people will load back in. Now, see here, when I come back up, see how it crawls forwards. Now, the cart will stop when you start to walk off in a different direction, and bam, we've got fossils straight away. We follow it all the way down. We throw a flare down because you don't want to ever get caught. As you can see straight away, live example, you sell them pretty quick. So then you'll walk back up to the cart. Now we're keeping an eye out for fractured walls, and you can do this for everything. So the cart goes this way. You want to go straight up, and there's a fractured wall. So we're going to hit our flare. We're going to hit our dynamite on the wall, blow the wall up, then hit another flare in the room. Now this isn't a good room, but you know, can't have everything your own way. And see, this is what you want here. So where the cart moves forwards, you want to go to the sides. The cart will stop. So there's nothing down here. I don't need to drop a flare because I'm sustaining the degen. And then basically you just farm out the sides, looking for fractured walls. You pick up some dynamite, pick up some more flares, and we go back to the cart and we keep running. And so you're always looking at the mini-map. I very rarely ever look at the map unless I'm in a harder area. I'm always looking at the mini-map. So 3 flares, we're replenished. The longer columns usually have a large amount of flares. So then we stop. Oh, there's another fractured wall. We drop a flare, we drop dynamite, and then we drop another flare, and then we just made 12 chaos. And another extra chaos because Dove also sells, gives you a lot of just flat currency drops, especially in cities. So then we come back up. Oh, Azurite. We can turn that. That's another resonator, another 2C. More Azurite. That's another 2C. Oh, prismatics. Those are 2 to 3C. What else have we got down here? We don't know what's fully down here. We'll just keep pushing down. Oh, serrateds. I think they were like 3C and some chisels when we go back to mapping. As you can see, unbelievably profitable. I'm going to finish this column while I'm recording just to set an example of how profitable this is. And it's crazy that not many people actively play this, which is why the market's currently inflated. As you can see, people are still after them. The market is currently inflated because people just don't play Delve. They're so drawn by everything else that they don't play Delve. Resonator stash, there we go. That's another 4C. So if like you were buying small ticket items right now, just to sort of get your gear up to spec, as you can see, just literally just running to the sides and see how the minecart stops. I can be down here for as long as I want. So we'll go back up here, drop a flare because it's a bit hairy up there. The other thing you'll notice is my XP goes up pretty well. So you'll see it branch off again, and so you just run back. Oh, another fractured wall. Was that 3? Drop another flare. And this is why I always take a shitload of flares down. So blessed orbs, everything down here. Regal orbs are really easy to get down here too. So all the other thing with Delve players is they tend to self-craft gear, which is what I tend to do more so than often, because it's really easy to do that when you've got abundance of currency. And so, you know, what you don't sell, you use to craft your own shit. So we go back down here, literally just, oh yeah, fusings, we'll pick those up as we come back out. We'll get the dynamite, nothing else really there, that's a bad dead end. Let's get those 5 fusings. We come back out. We continue going straight. 4th fractured wall, this was the best example I could have picked. Fundamentals, maybe 2C, 3C, something like that. Holy shit, this run's pretty good. So, oh, there we go, rich Azurite. We get about 300 Azurite out of that run. And we get some jewelry. Now, the minecart will go up here. This is a really good example. If you do move up adjacent to the minecart, it will move up. We've got more Azurite. So, as you can see, oh, even more Azurite. You want to get every single one of these nodes because every single node of Azurite is currency. So then we'll come back up. Oh, more Azurite. So we can go and branch off there as well. Lost wealth. Oh yeah, we'll get some more currency, some more drops. And then we'll farm a big Azurite node here. As you can see, like I've already had, what is that, 3 times someone's contacted me just for 5. You can imagine if you sell in bulk, you just get absolutely spammed straight away. So that guy's most likely looking to craft with it. So we'll do this node, and then we'll talk about my Atlas setup. The worst part about a tier 3 node is it takes a little longer because it's got a few phases. And I'm still leveling this tune up actually, so there is that. Whereas, oh yeah, there it is. This one's going to yield pretty good return. Come on, Jorgen. There we go. All right, this one will actually give me a fair bit. So 1,000, 1,400, 1,600, nearly 1,800. Pretty good return. Now, that's pretty much it. So then we just go to Nico, we go purchase, bam. Yep, we get another shitload of resonators, dump it in our stash, and then put them all up for sale. And that's pretty much my process. Now, I've been burning divines to level this tune up and gear it up, but I generated this in like about an hour, like, which is what, 2-3 divine, really easy. There's there are people that are way more efficient than me. I like to dawdle a little bit. But that's basically the strategy. So the next part of the video, I'll talk about how to do the Atlas, and then that's basically it. Okay, so in every league, I usually set my Atlas up very similarly. Now, I'm focusing on completing challenges, so my Atlas looks a little bit scuffed right now. Yeah, we do need that. But pretty much the key nodes that you need here is always level up to Mad Devotion down here. And then I move straight into Delve, which is Guarded Hordes and Packed with Energy. And all these nodes give you huge sustainability. And then basically straight up to mining byproducts, and then finally up to Sulfite Infusion, which means every map that you do, if you do red tier, you get 500 additional Voltaxic Sulfite on completion. So it's just super easy to sustain Delve, and it's crazy that not a great number of people play it. I know a lot of people who follow this channel play it, and it's not for everybody, but it's a really, really good way to make currency, whether it be early in the league or later in the league. Usually by about the 3rd month of league, it gets harder to liquidate, but people are always trying to make really cool items, and they're always trying to make really cool builds. Anyway, this is my basic sort of guide on how to make divines out of Delve. And if you're wondering about the question of, okay, well, how do you actually make divines out of Delve? Well, really, really simple. You take the huge sums of chaos that you generate, you go straight to the PoE trade website, you click on divine in bulk, and however many divine you want to buy, so 2, and then you literally just buy divines from people in bulk. And it's literally that simple. So just sitting in here is, yeah, probably about 3 div, 741, 771, yeah, 3 div. Let's go and buy 3 div right now. But yeah, anyway, if you've got questions, post up in the comments. As you can see, we might as well do a trade while we're here. Shit, didn't want to go there. Yeah, as fucking hell. Yeah, anyway, that's how to make currency out of Delve. If you've got any questions, post up in the comments. But yeah, until next time, like and sub, and bye.